Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, or if you're new, just welcome. Feel free to join, subscribe, and see what we're all about. So on this video, as you can see from the title, I want to talk to you guys about my migraine headaches and how they started and where I'm at now. So I was actually migraine free for like a month recently, and that was because my levothyroxine had been adjusted. However, that only lasted a month. So sadly, last week I had a 3-day migraine and I still kind of feel pain on and off, and it's just tiring and debilitating. So I actually quit my job today. So yeah, it's not easy. Aside from migraines, I do have like a bunch of other things wrong with me, but I'll make a separate video to talk about each. Well, I already have my thyroid journey videos. I think there's 2, so you can check those out if you're interested. So yeah, basically I remember ever since I was little, I would have headaches. So especially in summer, I remember just like feeling kind of miserable that it was summer because of my headaches. And I'm from Southern California, so it's definitely hot in the summer and dry. So I don't know if that contributed to my headaches. They weren't migraines, they were headaches. But they were bad enough to where I had to take naps during the day, like to help me. And I also remember if I didn't eat on time, I would get a headache. So yeah, I've been having headaches since I was little. And then in my teen years, when I started my period, I remember seeing a pattern. So every time I got my period, I am not regular with my period. And every time I would end my period, I noticed that I would get a headache, and this headache was a lot stronger and it lasted a longer time, and it was just like more intense. And Advil, I would take 3 Advil or 4, I don't remember. I would take a lot of Advil at once, and it did nothing to me. Like literally nothing. I felt no relief from it. It would just knock me out. Like I would get really sleepy type of thing, and I would sleep. And then when I woke up, like the pain was gone, but it took me to have to go to sleep. And then my mom would like tie things around my eyes and give me tea, and I don't know what other stuff she would give me. But yeah, it was pretty bad. And then I heard that they could be migraines, and people would tell me, oh, like you don't drink enough water, you need to stay hydrated. And I was like, well, that's not really it, because I know the pattern, I know when I get them. And so either way, I got Excedrin migraine off of like Walmart or something, and like Advil, it did absolutely nothing. Like it didn't take the pain away like I needed it to. So I didn't go to the doctor because growing up, like I was sick a lot, like I said, and my parents didn't really believe my symptoms. And so I thought that because my parents didn't believe me, like the doctor wouldn't believe me either. So, and I was like, probably they'll just tell me to take Excedrin migraine, and I know that that doesn't work. So I didn't go to the doctor for a long time. And then I had a really scary thing happen to me. So I got a migraine with aura. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it properly. But the first time I got it, I still sometimes hallucinate, but it's not often. But that one time it was like weird and scary. So let me tell you that story. It's pretty interesting. So it was, I remember Christmas Eve, And I remember ever since I woke up that day, I didn't feel good. I just didn't feel good, but I knew I couldn't call off work. I worked at Walmart in the bakery section, and I didn't want to call off because it was like Christmas Eve and people aren't allowed to call off or get vacation time around that time. And I thought that they would think that I was like lying just to stay home, even though I don't celebrate Halloween or anything. But I didn't want to call off. And my schedule, I remember I was closing that day. So it was either 12 to 8 or 11 to 8. Or maybe we closed at 7. I don't know. I just had the closing shift. So I had the last shift for sure. I remember I went in and I started working. And then I went to the back, like near where they kept the produce is where we would keep like our bags, our zip ties or whatever they're called, little ties to tie up the bread bags, and the labels. And I don't know what it was that I needed from back there, but I went back there and I was there for a while, and then all of a sudden like my vision got blocked. And then I was like, okay, that's weird. Okay, so let me mention that back there it's a lot darker than it is in the front or even where I was working. So it was dark, but it was enough so that I could see. Like I didn't have to turn on any additional lights to see. But when my vision like got blurred, it didn't get blurred. It was like it was black, like something black. A layer of black was just like covering my eye. It was weird. Anyways, I just hurried up and I was like, okay, I think I've been back here for too long. And so I hurried up and I went back to the bakery. And then I remember like right when I left that little room thing, I was blinded by the lights that were at like where the customer shop. I was blinded by them, like it was weird. Like I wanted to go to my locker room and get my sunglasses because it was just too much light. And I was like, I wonder if they turned on like more lights than usual. So I went to my coworker who was there and I was like, I feel like it's way too bright in here. And then she's like, because it didn't go away. I kept feeling like it was just too bright. And so she's like, I think they did turn on like more lights because I actually see it bright too. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's not just me. Like I'm not going crazy. She thinks it's bright in here too. So afterward, I kept doing my job. And then I started to see like little floating circles, like little spots that were like floating on both of my eyes, and at certain points like they would block my vision, and they weren't only black, like the outline of the black circles was like when you see like you stare into the sun or a light bulb and then you look away and then you see like, you know how it has like a bright outline. Okay. So yeah, I saw that with the black little floating lights, and then that's when I started kind of freaking out, like what is happening to me? And so I went back to my coworker. I think it was only me and her working because I don't remember anyone else, but it was such a long time ago that who knows. So I went up to her and then I told her, have you ever seen like little floating black lights? And she's like, yeah, actually I have. Like when I switch like from somewhere dark to somewhere really bright, and that's what you were doing, so that's probably why you're seeing it like that. And then I was like, okay. But as I was talking to her and she was talking to me, I started, okay, I don't know what that said. Oh, I have a call. Let me decline it. Anyway, so as she was talking to me and I was talking to her, I felt like this pain just come and like knock me. The pain was right here. on my temples and in the back of my eyes. And it was like my migraines, I don't know if it's like that for everyone, but my migraines, the way they work is I feel, let's say like someone has a bat with spikes and they're inside your head and they use it to smack you. So you feel like that initial pain, like that sharp pain, but then it like goes away. I felt that. But it was like the pain that would come and knock me out it wasn't like, oh, you know, like constant. It would like come and go away, come and go away, come and go away. Like several minutes apart. So I was just like, okay. Like as she was talking to me and I kept seeing those little lights and then I felt the pain in my head. I was like, this is so weird. But anyway, she told me not to worry about it, so I went back to work. And as I was working, I started to feel nauseous. And my stomach started to like cramp. Kind of like when you have food poisoning and you know you're going to have to go to the bathroom. Not to throw up, but to have diarrhea. I felt that. So I was like, I'm going to take my break and go to the bathroom. Because if I have to do what I have to do, I gotta do it now. So I went to the bathroom. I sat, but went over the toilet to see if like I could throw up. I didn't throw up. I sat on the toilet to see if I could go diarrhea. I didn't go diarrhea. Nothing came out, but I felt like something needed to come out. So I went back to work and I counted that as my break because, you know, I was there for a while. But I just didn't feel good. Like I started to get dizzy. The nausea was like really bad. And the pain started to become more constant. Like not minutes apart, but probably seconds apart. It got to that point. So then I went back to work. I tried to work and I could not work. It was so distracting to me, the pain and the discomfort that I felt. So I was like, you know what? I don't feel good. I went back to the same coworker and I was like, I don't feel good. At that point, I think she saw in my face or she saw me that I wasn't okay. She's like, okay, don't worry. Like, I'll go get the supervisor and I'll tell her. So she went and she got her. The supervisor came and she's like, what happened? What's wrong? And I said, I don't feel good. My head hurts, but I have like this weird feeling. Like I can't explain what I feel. I just don't feel good. And so she's like, okay, let's go to the back. And we went to the break room and I was like, I can't sit here because I already took my break. And then she's like, no, don't worry. Like, you're not feeling good, so you can take another break. And then, so she sat me down and then she started asking people if they had Advil or something. And this lady had Tylenol. And then they gave me one. And then I was like, okay, I take 3 or 4 at home and it does nothing. One is going to be like, what's the point of taking just one? And then they're like, oh, well, we don't want you to overdose either, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fine, like, I'll just take the one pill. So I took it. And then I put my head down. They're like, just put your head down and try to relax. So I did. And I fell into like a deep sleep. And when I woke up, like everyone was gone. That room was empty. And I was like, how much time has passed? Like I didn't have my phone with me, so I couldn't check what time it was. And then I was like, okay, I better go back to work before I get in trouble. As soon as I physically stood up, I got so dizzy. I got so dizzy that I had to hold on to the table and like just wait there holding on to the table. And then I felt like the throw up was coming. It was coming. So I ran to the bathroom. And on my way to the bathroom, I was running. This lady, she saw me. She worked there. She wasn't a manager. She was like below a manager. And she like followed me. I could feel her following me. And when I closed the bathroom door, I saw her standing there and just looking. And then I started throwing up. I threw up a lot. And so when I got out of the bathroom stall, She was like, are you okay? And then I was like, no, I do not feel good. There's something wrong with me and I really don't feel good. Like, I'm not okay. And she's like, okay, don't worry. Like, I'll ask if you can go home. So she had like one of those earpieces, and I don't know who she asked if I can go home, and I don't know what they said, but she's like, come with me to the office. So I went with her to the office, and then there was only like one manager there. I don't know who he was or anything. I don't remember. And she asked him the same thing she had radioed in her little earpiece. She told him, and he looked at me and he was like, yeah, go home. Actually, he asked like what department I worked at, and he was like, okay, yeah, go home. Because I mean, bakery, there was like no customers there, so they were all probably buying toys or whatever it is that the people buy for Christmas. So he told me to go home, and then she was like, are you okay driving, or do you want me to call someone who can pick you up? And I was like, I'll text my dad. Like, my dad can come and get the car and stuff. So I text my dad. Either way, she walked me. She walked me all the way to the front entrance, and then she stood there as I walked to my car. Like, I guess to make sure that I got there safely, because I know that I did not look okay. I know that for sure. Because of how people were acting around me, I know I didn't look okay. So I got into the car and I laid down like in the back seat a long ways. As soon as I laid down, I got dizzy again. Like, everything was spinning. And I was just waiting for my dad to get there. So his friend dropped him off, and then my dad drove me home, and my mom had made like some tea or something to help me settle my stomach, and I just got into the bed. I got into the bed and I was shivering. Like, I was shivering. I felt really cold. And so my parents went back to their friend's house. And so it's just me and my sister home. And I tried to go to sleep, but I couldn't. I was like in and out of the sleep. Like, I couldn't fully go to sleep. And I kept feeling bad. Like, the pain was still throbbing on my temples. And I still felt sick, like I had more to throw up or something. So then I heard an ambulance pass by, and there is a school like a block away, like right in back of where we lived. Like, literally you can walk there and get there in 2 minutes. That's how close the school was. Like, so if they spoke in the speaker thing, we could hear it. I could hear it, especially from my room, because my room was facing like the outside, the street and the front door. So I heard the ambulance, and I heard it stop by near, because like it was still there for like a long time. I could hear it. And then I think like they were giving an announcement or something at the school, but there was no kids there. I mean, mind you, it's Christmas Eve, so obviously nobody's there. So I think it was just like automated, and they were saying something, but I couldn't understand what they were saying because I was in and out of sleep. But I knew what was happening, or thought I knew what was happening. And in my head, I started to hear, well, I thought it was real. I started to hear like kids crying and like a bunch of commotion, and then parents, and then people screaming. And then I started to hear, you know, like when something is burning. Like, I've never actually experienced it in real life, but I've seen it in movies, like when buildings are burning and it makes like that burning sound. And then like when burning things hit the floor, it makes like a special sound or whatever. I was hearing all of that, so I was like, oh my god, this school caught on fire and there's something going on, and that's why the ambulance is there, like trying to put out the fire or whatever. So I called my sister, and then I was like, do you hear that? Like, the school is burning down. And then she's like, I don't hear anything. And I was like, you don't hear the ambulance? And she's like, yeah, I hear the ambulance, I don't hear anything else. And then I was like, go check, because I literally hear the fire. I can hear the fire, I was telling her. And like, I argued with her for a while, and she finally went outside to check. She was out there for a while, or what I thought was a while. And then she came back inside, and she's like, there's nothing there. This school is perfectly fine. There's nothing there. The ambulance isn't even there. I don't know where it's at. I can only hear it, but not see it. And then I was like it was so real in my head. I heard all that, and it wasn't true. Like, none of that was happening. And she was like, do you want water? And I was like, yeah, I'll take some water. So I drank some water. When I sat up to drink the water, I felt that feeling again of dizziness and wanting to throw up. So I drank a little bit of water and I went to the bathroom. And I hadn't ate anything. So the only thing I threw up was like this acid stuff, yellow acidy stuff. And as I got up to go back to my room, like literally my eyes started, like, that's how much I could see, because everything else was black, like just black. Like I was gonna pass out, I guess, I don't know. So I like held on to the walls and I walked to my room slowly, and then I just like flopped on my bed, and I don't even think I covered myself. Like I felt like this heaviness in my eyes, like I needed to sleep, and I did sleep. I knocked out. So that was around, all that happened around like maybe 1 or 2, and then when I actually went to sleep, it was around maybe like 3 or 4. I woke up, there was still daylight when I went to sleep. When I woke up, it was dark, completely dark, and I did not wake up in between. I was just like in a deep sleep. And when I woke up, my dad was already there. Like I could hear him in the kitchen, and he was watching TV and doing I don't know what. And then I was like, what time is it? Did I sleep through like the night? And is it the next day? Like, what day is it? What happened? I was like so confused. And then like I looked for my phone and I saw that it was 10 p.m. It was like 10 p.m. but that same night. So I slept all that time without waking up, without feeling anything. Like I just knocked out. And then I felt really tired. Like the headache was gone, the nausea feeling was gone, the dizziness was gone, but my bones hurt really bad. Like they hurt so bad. Like if I had worked out for like a whole day, ran for a whole day, like my joints, my body was hurting, my bones were hurting really bad. And yeah, that's what happened. And after that, I decided to go to the doctor, and that's when I got prescribed sumatriptan. And till this day, that is what I take for my migraines. I use sumatriptan, really works for me. Especially if I catch it early on, it takes the pain away almost immediately. Like the longest I've had to wait was probably like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and the fastest that I've seen the pain go away is 30 minutes. But either way, I still fall into that deep sleep. That is something, even though like I feel that the only thing sumatriptan does is it takes away your pain. That's it, for me at least. That's all it does for me. So it takes away my pain, but everything else, my bones hurting, me feeling tired, me feeling nauseous, all that, it's still there. So it can be a pain in the butt, and it is very annoying because when you have it, like this last week that I had it for 3 days in a row, it's annoying. It's annoying because it gets in the way of your life. And I actually got prescribed preventative medicine, which I decided not to take because of the side effects that it gives. And I am very, very sensitive to medicine. Usually when I usually get all the side effects. So I was really scared to take them. and I felt like I'm used to my migraines already, and I know they'll go away, but the side effects, like, I was just scared to feel something different. It's just scary. So I decided not to. I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel for you guys if you guys have chronic pain or constant pain, even if it's not just migraines. Like, I know how that can be. I also have endometriosis, and I have bad periods, and I think that that's where my iron deficiency anemia comes from, but I'm not sure. And then since my thyroid glands were damaged during surgery, at least one or two were damaged, or maybe one was removed, I don't remember. I have calcium deficiency or absorption, something, problems. So I'm actually in several groups on Facebook because they're very helpful, people who go through your similar things. So if you're going through something like that with migraines, headache, chronic pain, all that stuff, and you have Facebook, I suggest you join the groups that are specifically meant for whatever condition you have, because they are so informative, so very informative, and you get support from people because they know your pain. And I know how sometimes maybe people close to you don't really understand what you're going through, but when you're in those groups, you feel the support and you know that you're not alone. So that has helped me a lot, to know that I'm not the only one suffering from these things, and you know, just the support and what's worked for other people, things that I can try, and things like that. So I will be making another video talking about like endometriosis and my periods and everything in another video. So definitely subscribe if you would like to know, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for everything, for watching this video, and yes, your comments and your likes and your subscriptions really help. So I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Or if there's anything else you want me to talk about, or want to know the group names, let me know. So yeah, I have a lot more to talk about, but this video is already long, so I don't want to go there. Follow us on Instagram. We are the.vega.jays on Instagram, and then I have my personal Instagram, which is Daydreamer Jenny. Dreamer has double R, because I am going to be bringing out exciting things on that Instagram account, but I'm still working on them, so I don't have anything up yet of what I'm working on, but it's definitely exciting and I'm happy about it. So yes, and that is also the reason why I quit my job, so because I'm working on that. So yeah, super excited. Thank you. Have a good day and stay safe. And these are my glasses. I need new ones, but I can't afford them, so alright, bye.